going on, ABS has arrived on the scene. If you haven't seen it, the robot umpire is happening next year in Major League Baseball. Each team will have 2 challenges during the course of a game. If they get to extra innings, they will get an extra challenge if they've used their 2 up. If you make a challenge and it's correct, for example, if CB Bucknor is the umpire and you get like 10 correct, then you get to keep your 2 or however many you get the chance to get 2 wrong before you lose out. That's
makes sense.
There are only 3 people that can ask for a challenge: the catcher, the pitcher, and the hitter. They'll hit their hat or their helmet to call for the replay. And I think this is a great thing. Again, accountability for the umpires. Players, rather than argue and say that wasn't a strike, they can tap their hat and say, and they can find out if they have that good of an eye or not. And so I think this is a really good thing for the game. I've been asking for this for a long time. The only thing that I don't like about it, Matthew, is that it's not on every single pitch.
That's your one issue with it. It's not on every single pitch.
Every single pitch. Why not? If you have the technology.
Well, they have a umpires union to, I'm sure, fight against.
They've broken that before. Why not break it again?
Fair enough.
So they didn't really break it. Well, they did, but they had to. I guess the union wins when Angel Hernandez gets rehired. So and that's what happened. But you know what? I think about this, and I think this will be a good thing for baseball. And I think about what's happened in baseball since Rob Manfred became the commissioner. They've never lost a regular season game to a work stoppage.
Yet.
Nope. They've navigated COVID, granted at a 60-game season, but there were a lot of issues with COVID. So getting 60 games out of it, getting a postseason, that winds up being a positive. The pitch clock has been a really good thing in my mind. I don't know why you wouldn't like the pitch clock and the quicker, more brisk pace and the faster games. And they've implemented the shift, which has led to a little bit more offense. It's brought the left-handed hitter back into the game. I don't think it's brought back the batting average the way baseball thought it would, but it has improved the game. And it's also, as they said when they brought the pitch clock rule in, it's enhanced the ability of players with athleticism to get on the field. You don't have any Mike Moustakas playing second base anymore that can't move. You used to be able to get by with just a guy, anybody playing second base. Can't do that anymore because the shift has been eliminated. And Rob Manfred also is the guy that removed the All-Star game having meaning for home field, which was ridiculous to have. And it wasn't, I said this then and I'll say it now. It wasn't any worse having the All-Star game determine home field advantage for the World Series than having it rotate year after year. It didn't make any difference to me that way. But to remove the All-Star game determining where the World Series was going to start and who would get a Game 7 and having that go to who had the best record, that was a good thing. Now, bad things, and you can feel free to weigh in here on the chat, that Rob Manfred has overseen. He did call the Commissioner's Trophy a hunk of metal.
Oh, great. He
did swing an air golf club while there was a lockout going on during spring training a few years ago.
How dare he?
He's got kind of a punchable face. But otherwise, if you have any other issues, if you have any other things that Rob Manfred has made baseball worse with, I want to hear from you.
I guess my question would be to you. Mm-hmm. He takes over for Bud Selig in 2015.
Yep.
Right?
Mm-hmm.
So we now have 10 years of Rob Manfred. Is baseball in a better place in 2025 than it was in 2015?
Economically, no. I would say in large part because of the Guggenheim Group doing what they've done with the Dodgers. That makes it tough for everybody. But that's a collectively bargained issue that they didn't take care of last time. In terms of the quality of the product, yes, it's in a better place. But in terms of, for example, where the Cardinals are right now, the Cardinals had a much better opportunity to compete in 2015 than they have to compete in 2025, simply because the Dodgers and the Yankees exist. And the Cardinals, and we've mentioned this before, could spend every penny of their revenue on payroll and their payroll still wouldn't be as high as the Dodgers payroll is. Now, payroll doesn't guarantee winning, and you can win in the regular season with a lesser payroll, as we have seen with the Brewers this year. But the fact of the matter is that for consistent winning, a higher payroll equates to a higher winning percentage.
Some people are saying the ghost runner is a crime. Not sure about the runner at second base and extras. Brian Ellison, I don't like the runner at second and extras. Dale Kreese says I don't like the
and
DH.
by the way, the ghost runner is a product of the analytics movement, because there were managers that were using up their pitching staff in 9 innings or 10 innings and didn't have anybody left in the bullpen. How do you solve that problem? You make sure the game ends sooner, because they didn't want to have those 13, 14, 15 inning games where these irresponsible managers were using up all of their pitchers in 9 or 10 innings. So how do they solve the problem? And by the way, all the owners had to agree on this, and all the baseball people had to agree on this. The way you solve the problem is by making extra inning games end more quickly. I don't love it, but I also understand that with the way baseball is right now, with starters going 5 and then 4 innings of relief pitchers when you're winning, and many times your starter goes 3 1/3, then somebody finishes the 4th inning, and then you have a guy pitch the 5th and the 6th and the 7th and the 8th and the 9th, then all of a sudden you're out of pitchers. And that's why we have the ghost runner. And I don't think you can blame the commissioner for that. I think it's a product of where baseball as a sport is.
So just let me put it this way. Enrico Palazzo text in auto runner, 3-batter rule, DH, all fundamentally change the nature of the game. So here's my question. I asked you if you want to watch the 2026 baseball season with those 3 rules in play or the way it was in 2010.
Okay, 2010 is a great example. Let's go to one game. Let's just pick a game from the 2010 World Series when Bruce Bochy was managing. Any game in the 2010 World Series, and we'll take a look at it. So 2010 was the Giants and the Rangers, I believe. So I'm going to just pick out one game from that series, which was 4-1 in favor of San Francisco. I'll just randomly pick game 3, okay? 2010 World Series, game 3.
The 2010 seems really late for Edgar Renteria to be winning World Series MVP.
It does.
That does like 2006, maybe 2008, maybe, but 2010 seems late.
Okay, so the Rangers take a 3-0 lead in the second inning of game 3. They're up 4-0 in the 5th inning, and then the Giants come back and score a couple late. The Giants use Jonathan Sanchez for 4 2/3. And then Guillermo Mota for an inning and a third, Jeremy Affeldt for an inning and a third, and Ramon Ramirez for 2/3 of an inning. There were so many pitchers, and this, by the way, was even exacerbated by Tony in 2011, but so many pitchers were used by Bruce Bochy that it slowed the game down dramatically. And if you go back, by the way, to September of those years, leaving out the World Series, when he had a 40-man roster to use before they made it 28 under Manfred, it was unbelievable how many pitchers Bruce Bochy would go through in a game. I think that having the 3-batter minimum is positive.
It's game 1 of that series. It was insane. It was also very high scoring, but I mean,
look at how many pitchers.
But they each used Rangers used 4 pitchers, and they used them for a third, then 2 innings, then 2/3 of an inning, then a third, and then the Giants used Sergio Romo for 2/3 of an inning, Javier Lopez for a third, Ramon Ramirez for a third, Affeldt for 0, and then and for 1 hitter, and then Brian Wilson came in for 2 2/3,
2 outs. Yeah. So that's the way the game was, and man, it just took forever. Hey, see if you can find the length of that game. 3 hours and 36 minutes, and now you don't have games that go over 3 hours.